It's nice to see Twilight using that Earth Pony strength that her alicorn status gives her. We finally get our third map episode this week with the Hooffields and the McColts. When another friendship problem arises, the map calls upon Fluttershy and an overly eager Twilight to settle a feud between two families, but when they learn that this conflict has spanned several generations, they begin to wonder if this is one problem that they can't solve. Now, like a lot of tropes, the whole feuding families idea can go either way. It can either be really good or really bad, and people wonder why book 1 is my least favorite. But if there's one thing that MLP is pretty good at, it's taking familiar story ideas and adding their own creative style to them. So what's good? I feel the episode's strongest parts are at the beginning and the end. The beginning of the episode, along with several small bits in the middle, show more of Twilight being overly excited to solve a friendship problem. Now, one could easily chalk this up to Twilight being Twilight. She's had quite a few moments where she gets really excited about something she loves, more moments that one can count on two hands. However, when I thought about this episode's beginning, as well as other episodes in Season 5, last week included, I noticed something a bit bigger. Ever since the map appeared and the main 6 had their first assignment, Twilight waited impatiently for it to call on her again, and throughout today's episode, she keeps restating how she's the princess of friendship, and how she can easily fix the problem because, well, it's her title. Maybe this over-enthusiasm comes from the fact that she barely did anything as a princess in Season 4, something that she's shown frustration with several times in that season. We also saw in last week's episode that Twilight has a lot of pride in her princess status, so much pride that she didn't want to admit to being jealous, because a princess of friendship should never get jealous. With the map, Twilight is given the chance she's been waiting for. Perhaps that earlier impatience to feel useful made her overcompensate when she finally had an opportunity to be useful. As for the ending, I thought it was a cool idea to make the animals the impartial third party, which explains why the map would call Fluttershy for this mission. She's pretty much the one that solves the problem in the end, and I gotta give her props for that. This is just one of many examples of Fluttershy really coming into her own and stepping up to the plate. On a side note, I like the two families' respective color palettes and character designs. The designers really got creative here and weren't afraid to make the characters look ugly. And I see the McColts have that same eyebrow issue that Moondancer has. I guess not every pony can be at Applejack's level. So what's not so good? While I did like the beginning and the end of the episode, the middle is just kinda there. Instead of applying that MLP flair to a common story, this part of the episode just went through all the motions without trying anything new or interesting. It's just the usual back and forth between the two sides, with each family using increasingly ridiculous methods to get at each other. It's definitely not terrible, but this middle act of the episode felt really par for the course. My only exception would be that Trojan cake that the Hooffields made. Pretty clever, but Changelings did it first though. Just saying. The episode also seemed to follow a pattern that was set by the earlier map episodes, where the story would have more focus on one of the two starring characters, and the other character is the one that finds a solution in the end. On one hand, it's an interesting common thread that the map episodes share, and in this episode's case, it resulted in a great Fluttershy moment. But on the other hand, it also makes the episodes formulaic. The Hooffields and the McColts was a middle-of-the-road episode that, despite not trying anything new with the story, did show some interesting bits with its starring characters, and the supporting characters had some cool designs too, so it was alright. Ma Hooffield though? I don't know where it is, but there is a toothbrush with your name on it somewhere out there. I suggest you find it. Next week, we're gonna get Amy Keating Rogers' last episode, and it's gonna be an Applejack episode, so that's bittersweet. So what did you think of the Hooffields and the McColts? Let me know in the comments below, or hit me up on social media, and consider supporting me on Patreon, or commissioning me for art via PayPal. Until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.